This is my Lord of the Rings Return to Moria Durin's Fortress base, updated for Durin's Folk and the Yule-Tide pack update. Entranceway is still the same. I did recently test to see if moving the hearth, the tile of the hearth to here would do anything to let it sieges go to the front, and it didn't seem to do anything because I almost immediately got a siege and they still spawned in the Gundabad boss room. The main thing I added is a little bit more Yule-Tide stuff, i.e. the old table and a chair to mix things up over here, and then I got the new table and all the Durin's Folk decorative stuff. And then the Yule-Tide decoratives, the new Yule-Tide stuff as well. Spots for all the armor whenever we get cosmetic display, and I acquired plenty of holly cuttings. I just didn't go crazy decorating, even though I wanted to. Kind of got irritated because of the issues getting in on Christmas Eve. And then, so I've got all the Durin's Folk stuff over here. This spot is for the expedition armor. I'm currently wearing it, which is why I mixed up my apparel to the Lord of Moria set. And I've got, of course, the shield and the axe. This would be for the Gimli stuff. And then I have a teaser for things to come, a Radiant Drak Berzin. I do have a normal Thunderstrike one, but decided to play around with Radiant weapons. And then I've got all the Yule-Tide farming stuff over here, and Yule-Tide, for the Yule-Tide pack, I updated this with holly trees instead of just elven trees over here. And I bit the bullet and now have an elven and holly tree farm in the elven quarter, but I have not fully grown those because they still until they fix the until they stop needing proximity for all that stuff. And then I've got all the Durin's Folk crops over here, crops and flowers. Then I've got all the storage, and the main thing is I added all the Durin's Folk stuff into my warehouse setup, including close marble and red sandstone, and I've even got overflow chests for them, and they're loaded because I didn't want to mess around. And then we've got sea wax and the new materials that are needed for sea wax all in one place. Then we got the new crops and the cooking ingredients. Then we got all the trade building materials needed for stuff, and then mirrored silver and pumice. Then all my pallets are much fuller finally because I started stockpiling stuff. Some of it was from the warehouse because I was a little handicapped by bugs early on, but I'm starting to fill up my pallets of ore. Like most of my ore pallets are nearly full or getting there. And then I'm starting to fill up the ingots as well, including I have full pallets of star metal and mithril as well. Then my bulk smelting setup, finally usable for expeditions, even though I'm a little underwhelmed by expeditions. And then one of my Ufon furnaces. And then here's my crops and cooking and brewing setup all in the middle here around the forge itself. Open farm boxes by the pillars, and then I added in the expedition table, and then this is for storing the extra stuff that I normally carry on me to stream down my inventory for an expedition. And then I've got my wall of wander kegs, and then 4 King's brew tanks, and then the rest is all brew tanks. Then, of course, my dark crops over here in the corner. Space I should be able to allocate for sunken moss and blazed rooms if they ever give us the ability to farm that stuff. And then got my packs, my torch and flare box, and my extra billboard tomes and scrolls, and then Balin's letter. Was the ring in there, but now it's used in the Durin's folk story, so no need for it in there anymore. I do have some fun stuff, like my Mountaineer's pack is actually kitted with stuff. Actually, my Mountaineer's pack is a spare empty one as well, and then I have Adventures and Scout packs kitted with stuff. And then my wall of Masterworks, including a spot for my torch to complete the set of 6, because I keep Mirrorvore over here, and then I have all the others on that wander keg wall. My little decorative area with the troll hide furniture. And then I also bit the bullet and imported all sandbox exclusive gear. I had enough of not having Barak Lamut in campaign, so I have a full set of all the sandbox exclusive gear. And I even mixed things up and decided the Gatherer's hat can go with the Blue Mountain set, and then put the wolf hat here instead. And then all the other stuff is here. And then I've even got a Dagger Marth. And then I've got Steel Axe. Steel Axe is in rotation, and I upped the ante and decided to get Thunderstrike axes into rotation as I see fit. At least have the option to run them, because Thunderstrike is such a good rune. Then, of course, my loom, my ink grinder, and all the storage related to them. Then got Nogrod armor, of course, and I recently dyed my Nogrod and Belgos shields. Felt doing them red and blue like their respective banners I have for the forges was a nice touch to mix things up. And I even actually I forgot I dyed my shield wall just with citrine to mix it up, so it's not the purely white version, the white and metal version. All my pickaxes, besides the ironwood, because I want ironwood adamant on these wall displays. So these spots are actually for the makeshift pickaxe and the axe, the 2 early game ones. I do have a set of those in the scout pack for the heck of it. Tempted to put a set over here just for the heck of it as well. And then got my first stage battle axes finally in here. And my bellicose war axes. And then I decided to add flame halberds in addition to the frostblade ones as an option, because I figured they'd be a decent weapon for spreading AoE. I would do them on a spear, but it's kind of awkward because there's no late game spear. And then Khazad army stuff, I now have Thunderstrike and Rotation axes there too, and those axes. And then of course another Flame Halberd, and then the Great Sword and Halberd are just in here in general finally. And then now I'm using the Mithril armor stand finally. Because normally I'm running around with Mithril, but I decided to put Expeditioner's armor on for purposes of dealing with the Gundabad Searchers. Because I'm mainly running Orkbay Then Is Bad when I really need it. If I'm expecting to encounter them, otherwise I'm using my Barak Lamut now. And then I had the salt bath here originally, but I decided to, since we're getting so much Gundabad slag, I decided to up the ante and put 2 of them in, and then I moved them over here by the Ufant Furnace. And then now I have extra Mithril weapon storage, because there are so many Mithril weapons and so many configurations I want to have available that I felt I needed more space. And I even have a whole setup of Radiant if I feel like I need them, because they actually do solid damage, at least against Shadow Orcs and Trolls. So that's why I have them just in a setup for 1 or 2-handed, that I could use them against those if I feel like I need to. And then my main Ufant Furnace. Tempted to have even more Ufant Furnaces for smelting, but it's kind of awkward to fit them in. But here's my Durin's Forge base in Return to Moria, updated for Durin's Folk, and with Yule-Tide stuff. I did do a bit of more Yule-Tide stuff elsewhere, but that'll be for the next time around, because I'm going to showcase Durin's Tower. Thanks.